Congratulations, you want to live in Pinckney, Michigan. Not too many people know where Pinckney, Michigan is, and if you know where Pinckney, Michigan is, you definitely want to move here, or yes, because you know about it, it's an inclination that you do want to move here. Why are people living in Pinckney? Well, I was born and raised here in Pinckney, Michigan, and we grew up on the Pinckney chain of lakes, 7 lakes all throughout of Pinckney, and then the river goes all the way south. The Huron River goes all the way south to Ann Arbor, and then also kind of connects the Pinckney State Rec area, kind of bleeds into Waterloo or Chelsea State Rec area. So why are people coming here? Outdoor activities, bodies of water, chain of lakes, single all sports lakes. While still being somewhat connected to the bigger communities. Back growing up here in Pinckney, we had an Alpine grocery store, and that was it. It was small. Everything else you had to go to Brighton or Howell for, which again, to live in this community, to kind of be isolated and rural just enough, have the great outdoor capabilities. Who cares if we had to drive 15 to 25 minutes or 30 minutes for stores, grocery stores, so on and so forth? You're only doing that every so often. So that's a big reason why people want to be in this community. Here is the downtown community. And while we're here, we will definitely point out the high school. High school is relatively newer. It used to be down the road at Pathfinder Navigator. Here are these two schools right here. So it used to be Navigator is, I think it's 5th. It could be different now. 5th could be into the elementary schools, but back when I was there, it used to be 5th and 6th, and then Pathfinder were 7th and 8th. Pathfinder used to be the old high school. I could not do the actual satellite view, but there's a massive school right here and a massive school right here. I believe they're connected nowadays. And then there's also the West Reader Field, or what is West Reader Field. Let's just see if I can get to it. Layers, terrain, traffic, transit, biking, more. I want satellite. Boom. So here is Pathfinder. Here is Navigator. Back when I was growing up, it was 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th. Nowadays, I believe it's 6th through 7th and maybe 8th and 9th. And then the high school has a little bit of 9th and all the way through 12. Don't quote me on that. This used to be West Reader Field. It still is West Reader Field. That's where all of our high school football games were. So we didn't even play any football games at the actual high school. Empty. Zoom back out. We're going to zoom back over to the Pinckney Community High School. High school, again, 9 through 12. New stadium. I ran track and field here at Pinckney, and this used to be a track with nothing in the middle of it, no bleachers, no nothing. We loved it, though. These schools would come from out of county or other cities, and they would come in and go, what is this? But that's why we were always so dominant here on the track and cross country and track. It was just in our turf, our territory. But now there's a big community stadium for football, for soccer, for lacrosse. That is where I went to high school. So zooming back out, there's a few communities here in Pinckney within the village, your downtown areas, your downtown streets, your downtown homes, your quote unquote historical homes, everything from an 1890 to a 1920, and maybe even some other newer homes, 1930s, 1940s. This is town trail or village edge. So your 1980s to the late 90s, and then these newer developments are going to be your 2000s to today. And there's also some downtown neighborhood and communities over here. Again, your 1990s, your 1980s to your today, if there are still building some things in that community. Then we got the Mill Pond. Mill Pond's not necessarily noteworthy. There is a good community right here of a single in, single out subdivision. We've got your Mill Pond Animal Hospital. There's a library, a few dentist offices right here on the south side. But that's kind of what more or less makes up your downtown community. While we're here, we'll point it out when it comes to grocery shopping here in the community. Your options are Bush's, which Bush's is relatively new compared to my lifetime of being here in Pinckney. It was probably established late into my middle school days or early into my high school days. Great piece of the community that helps this community thrive. Let's zoom out really quick and then we'll come back to the downtown area. I wanted to point out Kroger. So just down the road, down M36, you're gonna have Kroger. And actually before we do anything else, where is Pinckney? Again, if you're already looking into this community, I'm sure you have a great inclination of where Pinckney is, but Pinckney is southwest of Brighton. It is just south of Howell, D19, and it is east of Gregory or Stockbridge. We are very close to Michigan, very known fact. These are the chain of lakes here in our community. I'll do a big circle here in a second. There's also a chain of lakes here in the Hell community. So if people are not looking for these options, they're definitely looking for those options. And then there's a bunch of other lakes in our community that are always desirable and things that are people looking for. And then it is obviously east of Whitmore Lake. And then if I clear this, zoom back out, just south of us is going to be, so again, you know, for people that live in Pinckney, the commute to Ann Arbor is very, very easy. Most likely would probably take you back roads, and I'll type that into a directions, but we have great proximity to Dexter and great proximity to Chelsea. While we're zoomed out, that is one thing that I was just talking about a second ago, is the Pinckney State Rec area, the Potawatomi Trail, Silver Lake Beach. A lot of great options when it comes to, very similar to Brighton Rec area, which is right here. It's kind of blocked by those screens, and very similar to Island Lake. Those are all state parks. They all have, you know, associated biking trails, hiking trails, lakes, lake amenities, rivers, so on and so forth. I don't think any of them actually have golf courses, so no golf courses, but we have an abundance of golf courses in our community here in Livingston County. You'll never go without finding those as great options. You'll never go without finding something as a good option. And then again, like I said earlier, it kind of weasels its way all the way to Waterloo State Rec area. And I'm pretty sure they have trails that connect all of the two parks together. It'd be a lot of miles, it'd be a lot of running, it'd be a lot of walking, it'd be a lot of horseback riding, but you can simultaneously go through all of those, and I'm sure people are doing it pretty consistently. So when it comes to an accessibility stand, yeah, you are kind of hiking out to Pinckney. It's an extra maybe 20-15 minutes depending on where you live, but a lot of the people are coming to Pinckney for those things. A little more rural, a little more bang for your buck. Schools are still great, and then good accessibility to the Chelsea and Dexter communities, and then even Ann Arbor. And we still have some good modern amenities when it comes to, you know, grocery shopping, so on and so forth. Let's do a direction really quick. I want to see Pinckney, Michigan to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and it is going to take us back roads. But I also think that depending on where you are, those are probably the best options. So two options, great. Down through Dexter, not directly to Dexter, but that's North Territorial through Webster Township, hit 23, head south, or M36 all the way to 23 and head south. So you still have, what was Howell? Howell was 30 minutes. This is still 30 minutes. What are you getting in Pinckney versus Howell? Well, you're getting less stores, shopping, downtown areas, or restaurant opportunities, but you're getting a little more maybe peace and quiet, bang for your buck, lake living options. And just so we know, Pinckney to the airport, probably gonna be an hour, 51 minutes. So all the way, that's having you go all the way south through Dexter, hitting 94 around Ann Arbor, 94 all the way to DTW. Last thing is just downtown Detroit. Detroit, Michigan, and actually I'll do one more. I'll do Lansing. I want to see that accessibility as well. So another hour. And a lot of our parents growing up did the commute to the greater Metro Detroit area or Ann Arbor area. Back in 1991, there was not as many work remote job opportunities. So Lansing, again, great accessibility, D19 North, hitting Howell, heading 96 all the way into downtown Lansing, or back roads, Gregory through Stockbridge, probably parts of Weberville, hitting Mason, getting 127 all the way north, getting into Lansing. So still good accessibility. I don't think you're gonna sacrifice by any means. When it comes to location, you're probably more or less gonna sacrifice on restaurants and shopping and things like that. Let's see if we can even do this. We can do this. We're gonna click through on a street view of a downtown Pinckney. Not a lot of options, but the options that they do have are great ones. I love Aunt Betty's. Aunt Betty's is always something I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm not consistently going to Pinckney for everything. A lot of our business is gonna be Brighton, Heartland, Howell, portions of Pinckney, Hamburg Township, South Lyon, Milford. But when I come to Pinckney, when I get this way, I am going to Aunt Betty's. Pinckney Hardware Store, it is an Ace Hardware True Value. If you don't want to go to Home Depot or Lowe's, obviously that's going to be your go-to. And there's a few other hardware stores down the way. Another Ace Hardware and another True Value. There's been some great evolutions here in the Pinckney community. There's always going to be a salon, Pinckney Bakery, staple in the community. It looks like there's a Froyo Cafe, and there's Go Taco. There was a nutritional shake shop down here. I believe it now might be closed. So what's new to come into this community? I do not know. But Pinckney is not lacking in some decent opportunities when it comes to food. Going south on Howell Street, you're gonna have your La Vista Bistro. I think it's more Italian restaurant. There is an attached market and deli, and then you have your Pinckney Diner right here. I believe this is Town Hall / Pinckney Village Office, and then there's also the Sheriff Department or some type of PD. A lot of family fun. This park or this community center, they're always having art in the park or nice festivals. So if you are moving to this community, be hip and staying up to touch for what is happening downtown in those spring, summer, and fall months. They do have a playground for all those little ones. Let's get back down to the main street. There is somewhere within here, it is a U of M satellite specialty office. What a great thing. We never had a doctor's office. There always were somewhat small practices, but it's good to have a University of Michigan presence. I don't think this is anything. It says the Duo. Not familiar. Looks like a dining theater. That's always been kind of switching over business owner to business owner. So that's the downtown area. Short and sweet. I don't think people are coming to the community for maybe the downtown nightlife, but people are coming here again for the conveniences, the lower taxes, and then the lakes and the lake opportunities. So speaking of, we hit on the high school, we hit on the middle school and intermediate school. The two other schools that I will point out really quick is Country Elementary. There's only two elementary schools. Back when I was growing up, there was Pinckney Elementary, Hamburg Elementary, Lakeland Elementary, Country Elementary, and Farley Road Elementary. And Farley Road is gonna be right here. And the little middle school, further than I expected. Farley Hill Elementary, so right there. And then Country Elementary. So we hit on location, we hit on some dining options, a few things that I want to point out while they're on the screen. Golf courses. Timber Trace is a little bit further west on M36, always a staple in the community, but people are always constantly talking about Whispering Pines Golf Course, Rush Lake Golf Course, and then one more to point out is going to be Lakeland's Golf and Country Club. Last thing I'll point out on the topic of restaurants, you can't talk about Pinckney without talking about Zuki Lake Tavern, right here on Zuki Lake. So let's recap again. Good location, good outdoor amenities, phenomenal golf courses, good restaurant options, and if not, we have good accessibility to downtown Howell and downtown Brighton, and then also the Ann Arbor community. Lakes. What lakes are people looking for here in the community? We will just go east to west, kind of like on a very micro view. Or Lake, all sports lake off of Hamburg Road. Some of it is Brighton Schools, some of it is Pinckney Schools. It might actually all be Brighton Schools, but this might be a Pinckney or Whitmore Lake mailing address. All sports lake, but it's a singular lake. Here is the Huron River. And actually, let's zoom out a little bit further. 23. And then here's the river all the way down. This is the Huron River that goes through all of the community, all of the lakes. I'll finish that drawing when we get to it. So the river or lake is, all these lakes would probably be combined, but roads and growth kind of took that away, for better or worse. You be the judge of that. But Orr Lake more or less would be connected to the community, but it is not. There's a small little bridge right here, a small little tunnel, so it is connected via water. Boat, the accessibility or the transition from Orr Lake to the river, not possible. But if you're on the riverside, you can go up to about Huron Meadows Park. People will take kayaks and canoes. It's not a massively flowing river, so you can go up, but you can definitely come down. We've done it many times. But then everybody on this river has accessibility to the chain of lakes unless the water is high. There's a few choke points, I think specifically here for the railroad tracks. It gets pretty tight. It does not get tight underneath M36. First lake from upstream here on Orr Lake is Strawberry Lake. My parents live on this lake. It's a phenomenal lake to be on. It's always a great lake when it comes to choosing what lake works best for you. There is Zuki Lake, and these are all sports lake. I will point out the lake that I grew up on that is not an all sports lake, but a lot of people are looking for that all sports option. Speaking of, Bass Lake is not an all sports option, but people like it for what it is. Speaking of Bass Lake, a non-all sports option, Winans Lake. It's a very desirable lake, very desirable community, but it's not all sports. And that's gonna, cater to, certain people and not. But when properties come up for sale on Winans Lake, it's most likely a fight for those. Bass Lake is no different. That is a lake that people are wanting those amenities, wanting the peaceful tranquility to go out and kayak, canoe, paddle boat, things like that, and not be disturbed by the all sports options. But as we continue, Zuki Lake, Strawberry Lake, here is Gallagher and Loon Lake. I actually grew up off Strawberry Lake Road, and we grew up off of this canal. So Loon Lake, Gallagher, I'll zoom back just a tad so I can annotate a little bit. So I believe we stopped somewhere right here. This is going to be Whitewood, Huron River through Baseline, and then it continues past. Obviously, this is connected. Portage Lake and the Huron River are connected, and I'll zoom back out just a little bit further to show you that the river continues on. And this is Tamarack Lake, is connected via this canal. That's where I grew up. And that is a non-all sports option, but a place to raise a family, a quiet community. We were swimming back and forth from friends' houses as long as I can remember, legitimately not walking, not riding bikes, but swimming back and forth from buddies' houses. And that's just kind of all we know. Here's Baseline, another very desirable lake. I think if somebody asked me to rank these lakes, it would be maybe in no particular order, but top 3 lakes of desirability: Portage, Baseline, and Strawberry. Those are always the ones that people are looking for and waiting for opportunities. Not many things come up for sale on Whitewood or Gallagher, and that's a testament to those lakes and those communities and people wanting to keep those in their families. Last lake in this line of lakes is going to be Little Portage. Not a lot of options on that lake, but when it comes to just chilling in the cove or a few lake house options, or accessing it from this part of the community, you definitely have that option. I don't know if anyone's done it, but yeah, technically, again, these lakes are combined with the Hell Lake options. This is Silver Lake, which is the Pinckney State Rec area, not associated or not conjoined with the Hell chain or the Pinckney chain, but I'm pretty sure all these waterways kind of connect in some form or fashion. Portage River, heading all the way to Highland Lake. Highland Lake connects to Half Moon, connects to Blind, connects to Bruin, connects to, I think that's Murray, and then blanket on this lake. Nonetheless, it's a great option, and especially if you're like bang for your buck. What are the price points on this community versus that community? There's going to be a little bit of a difference. I think it comes down to year-round living versus not year-round living. And then the last thing I wanted to do was follow that Huron River through the Dexter community, because again, you could start way up the Huron River. You could start in Lake Huron, and you can take this thing all the way to Lake Erie. I will grab the marker just to have it all the way down Huron River through Hudson Mills. We've done a community video on that. If you have not seen that, check that out. It's a metro park versus a state park. Not that much difference in amenities. It's going to have your walking paths, your trails, your mountain biking, some river access, but it's got a golf course. It goes all the way down. And it goes all the way through Dexter. Then it's going to go all the way through Ann Arbor, and it's going to go all the way through these communities and go all the way to Lake Erie. So again, congratulations for looking into our community here in Pinckney, Michigan. If you have any questions, if you need any clarifications on, location, restaurants, schools, neighborhoods, we're always here to help. We help people like you, whether it's 10 days or 10 months, we help people like you and have conversations like this every single day of the week. We are here to help. We're here to serve. We look forward to having a conversation with you and your family. If not, we will see you in the next one. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to use those like, comment, and share buttons below. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Pat Lots Real Estate for more helpful home buying and selling tips. Want a free comparable market analysis? Scan that QR code on your screen or visit our website at www.patlots.com and fill out the request form. There's lots to love in Livingston County.